The chamber of origins, where shadows meet light. In the beginning was the chamber, a place neither seen nor touched by mortal hands, yet through which all must pass. Some call it a doorway, others whisper it is a mirror. The wise know it as the place where what is hidden becomes manifest, where the nature of the source determines all that flows forth. There was once a master potter who claimed the first opening of every vessel, not for the clay itself, but for what would pour through it. The vessels wondered, why not take the clay? Why claim the opening? But the potter knew a secret, that contamination flows like water finding its level, while purity must be chosen, refined, and sealed within. In this chamber, two great laws govern all transmission. The shadow spreads by mere breath, yet light cannot be borrowed or stolen. A man may stand beside the burning flame all his days, yet remain cold unless he chooses to kindle his own wick. But let one deceased soul speak poison and hear how quickly the infection spreads from ear to ear, heart to heart. The potter once had a chosen people dwelling in a house of bondage, where false masters claimed ownership of what belonged to another. The firstborn, the beginning of strength, were being corrupted at the source, their inheritance stolen, their destiny clouded. So the potter acted not to destroy the clay, but to purify the chamber itself, removing the contamination and reclaiming what was his.
But observe the mystery. When the time came to gather his own, the potter chose not the firstborn themselves, but their substitutes, those who had proven they would guard the sacred opening even when it cost them everything that they held dear. These became scattered among all, living witnesses that the chamber's purity was more precious than blood ties or natural affection. Ages later, a woman appeared, one whose life flow had been corrupted for seasons beyond counting. Every remedy failed, every helper fell short. Yet she possessed something the potter's substitutes recognized: desperate faith that reached beyond the visible, beyond the rules that condemned her, towards the one whose purity could not be diminished, but only shared. When she touched the source, the ancient law reversed, not because the law changed, but because one had come whose nature was so completely unmixed that contact with him transformed rather than corrupted. The chamber that had been blocked was opened. The flow that had been tainted was cleansed, and what had been barren became fruitful. Yet many who witnessed this mystery remained blind to its meaning. They sought the covering without the surrender, the inheritance without the opening, the blessing without the purity of source. They desired to dwell in the potter's house, while eating their own bread to bear his name, while keeping their own will.
Such seekers know not that they have already disqualified themselves, not by his rejection, but by their own refusal to enter the chamber of true opening, where all that is false must be stripped away, and only what is real remains. The lesson continues. What flows through you today? Has your chamber been purified by the potter's flame? Or do you unknowingly transmit to the contamination of an uncleansed source? The wise will understand. The foolish will argue about the clay while ignoring the opening. For those with ears to hear, the chamber awaits. But know this entrance requires everything. The exit changes everything. Most prefer to admire the chamber from afar rather than pay the price passing through. This teaching is for those who hunger for the mysteries that lie beneath the surface, who seek not mere information but transformation. If you have perceived the parable within the parable, you are closer to the chamber than you know.